Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
This is entertainment. People pay to watch this.
Pass to a cutting Hiltz. He darts in. He scores!
People actually subscribe.
All across central New York.
Time expired! Syracuse has done it!
It's Drive Time with your host, Tim Leonard.
Hey, guess what? I'm getting one. Hey!
We welcome you into Drive Time. Friday fall drive time with a lot to discuss ahead of another game day for Orange football tomorrow. A night game for Orange football for the first time this season. We'll get into my full prediction on how the game goes tomorrow against Pittsburgh. 7:30 kickoff inside the Dome. Orange out of a bye week. Will we see some growth from the offense? Please, some growth from the offense. Just a little bit of indication that maybe they can hang in the game here. They're 10.5-point underdogs tomorrow. Pittsburgh, the complete opposite situation of Syracuse. They have been playing some very good football on both sides, really. Dominated Boston College with their new quarterback, Mason Heinchel. Freshman, 18 years old, has looked the part. He's been poised when he's been in. 2 starts for him. They're 2-0 for the Orange with Ricky Collins in his first 2 college starts. He is 0-2. And we'll get into what Syracuse needs to do and what they need to get out of tomorrow's game. When you talk about Ricky Collins, we'll make our full prediction and also give you a full scatter report on the Pittsburgh Panthers. In about 15 minutes, we'll chat some Syracuse basketball, some ACC basketball, with Seth Greenberg of ESPN. He was recently up on campus. Got a chance to speak to the team. Got a chance to see his guy, Red Autry, who was on his coaching staff at Virginia Tech. Hired him out of high school. We'll chat with Seth Greenberg about his thoughts on what he saw from this Orange team. Getting a chance to see them up close and personal. What does he make of year 3 of the Red Autry era? What are his expectations for Syracuse? Where do they fit into the ACC? That will be coming up right around 5:15. We'll get a chance to get the thoughts of Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst, former head coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies, former coach with Adrian Autry when he was an assistant. Adrian Autry's first college job. It was Seth Greenberg who hired him out of the high school ranks. So we'll drop our full scatter report here on Pittsburgh and then get into a conversation with Seth Greenberg at 5:15. We welcome your phone calls. Probably best if you call in here in the opening segment. We'll have Gio on right after Seth Greenberg to do our Football Friday and make our 5 football picks for the weekend, NFL and college football. That'll be coming up right around the bottom of the hour. So we're here with you from 5 to 6. For another drive time, 315-437-7644. If you're planning on chiming in on the show today, getting your thoughts out there before Syracuse and Pitt take the field tomorrow night, feel free to call in right now, and we can work you in at 4 ESPN 44. Again, 315-437-7644. But for our Burdick BMW of Cicero opening drive, let's get into a scouting report on the Panthers. Typically do this on Thursday. We got a little sidetracked yesterday. So what do the numbers say about Pittsburgh and just how good of a team are the Pitt Panthers at this point in the season? They are 4-2. Their 2 losses were games where they really probably should not have lost those games. They had double-figure leads in both of those games. First loss came on the road to West Virginia when Eli Holstein was still in at quarterback. Remember, Eli Holstein going into last season, the Alabama transfer, was not really supposed to be their quarterback going into last season. Then Pat Narduzzi decided after seeing him outplay the expected quarterback in camp that Holstein was ready as a young starter to be the guy to run the offense. First year of their new offensive coordinator, Cade Bell, who came over from Western Carolina last year. Also coming over from Western Carolina last year was Des Reed, their best player and one of the better all-purpose players in the Atlantic Coast Conference. He is their running back, but also one of their top pass catchers, and had a terrific game when he was healthy for the first time in a bit last week on the road at Florida State when Pittsburgh got their best win of the season to date. But they were up by 10 on the road at West Virginia in that backyard brawl rivalry game in week 3 of the season, at least their third game. They're up by 10 in the fourth quarter. They lost that game. West Virginia drove down the field, scored a touchdown right before time expired in regulation, won the game in overtime. Then the next week, Pittsburgh jumped out to a 17-0 lead on a good Louisville team. They were up 27-17 and lost 34-27. So allowed 17 unanswered from the Cardinals to lose that game. So 2 one-possession close losses to power conference competition. They do have one ACC loss because of the loss to Louisville. But as of right now, Pittsburgh is starting to round into form. They have a very challenging schedule in the back half of this season. But you can tell that this is a team right now that still feels like they could very much be in the thick of the ACC race. And it's hard not to think that way if you're Pittsburgh, the way they have been playing the last 2 weeks since they made the quarterback change to Mason Heinchel. Heinchel is the first Pittsburgh quarterback to start as a true freshman since Kenny Pickett. He is a much better runner than Eli Holstein. Holstein was a decent runner, but the thing that stands out when you watch Heinchel is he's very good at improvising. He's a tough guy to bring down, tall quarterback that gets out of the pocket, keeps his head downfield, and makes things happen with his legs, and also is a pretty good thrower on the run. Now, schematically, they have changed their identity as an offense with the new quarterback. Holstein was very much a deep ball passer, taking shots, and the big concern with Eli Holstein, he was throwing some turnovers in the red zone. He was maybe a little bit too gunslinger. And honestly, Pittsburgh was not keeping the ball on offense that long. This is an offensive style that does want to go up-tempo under Cade Bell, their second-year offensive coordinator, but they were dead last in the FBS in time of possession in the first 4 games of the season with Eli Holstein as the quarterback. It was a lot of quick drives where they took a deep shot, really didn't get any consistent, methodical drives out of Holstein at the quarterback position. So they make the change to Mason Heinchel, and Heinchel has really improved them in that time of possession category. They're now up to 108th after the past 2 games he has started. So they've seen an uptick in just their ability to consistently move the ball downfield with not chunk plays, but just 3, 4, 5-yard completions and run plays and staying ahead of the sticks. Other things that have changed under Mason Heinchel, they have had much more success in the red zone. Eli Holstein and Pittsburgh in the first 4 games were 11 for 21 at capitalizing in the red zone and scoring a touchdown. 11 for 21 at scoring a touchdown when they got in the red zone in the first 4 games. Now they are 9 for 13 in the last 2 games against Boston College and Florida State. They've been much better on 3rd and 4th down under the freshman quarterback Heinchel. In his 2 starts, he's completed 12 of his 17 passes on 3rd down, 1 touchdown, 162 yards, 12 for 17 on 3rd down. He is a perfect passer on 4th down, completing all 4 of his passes for 48 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He's definitely showcased an ability to extend plays like they did not have with Eli Holstein. I think that's why he has been very productive on 3rd and 4th down. So they have seen a difference in how they're moving the ball. It's more passes underneath. The other thing to bring up is Des Reed is now healthy. He was not healthy for those first 2 power conference games they lost when Eli Holstein was the quarterback. When you have a guy like Des Reed, that is the epitome of a quarterback's best friend, because Heinchel is just getting the ball out to him in the flats, in space, on the perimeter, and he is such a tough guy to bring down in the open field. Des Reed is listed at 5'8", 175. There were concerns when he came from Western Carolina that he would not be able to play up and level up. And right now it feels like there should be no reason to be concerned about that because he's a guy that has really done a nice job in the ground game and also has just done a great job as a pass catcher out of the backfield. He is a matchup nightmare. And when you think about what Duke did to Syracuse and how they beat the Orange with a lot of quick game stuff and putting the linebackers in coverage, we saw Antoine Delorier forced to play a lot of coverage in that game, really for the first time. I don't know who you throw on Des Reed because he is a really tough guy to contain. He had 155 receiving yards, 2 TDs on 8 catches last week against Florida State. So as we get into my prediction for this game, and feel free to drop your prediction in the Q Sports Talk chat here, I tend to think that Syracuse is going to start the game promisingly. I think out of the bye week, the only case you can make for Syracuse to win this game is that it is a good spot for the Orange. They're coming out of their bye week. They're urgent. They're desperate for a win. You would have to think they're going to throw the kitchen sink out there and put their best 15 plays or script their best offensive plays they've got under Jeff Nixon and try and get Ricky Collins comfortable. You've got a solid home crowd you would hope on your side for a 7:30 kickoff tomorrow night. And then you think about also they want to enact some revenge on Pittsburgh from last year. So everything spot-wise favors the Orange. Pittsburgh has had 2 easy wins, not easy, but 2 solid wins in a row. They obviously didn't get an extra week to prepare. They're riding kind of high right now. They're looking at the end of their schedule, and maybe there's a chance they're kind of overlooking the Orange. With that in mind, I think Syracuse is going to get off to a good start because honestly, the more I thought about it, their best drives of the Duke and SMU games was really the first drive. It just ended up faltering, whether it was against Duke, the Ricky Collins interception after they were kind of moving early on, and then against SMU, they get stymied at the goal line. So I feel like Jeff Nixon's going to script some great plays like he has for the opening drives of the past couple weeks and as he did in the Clemson opening drive. I think they're going to get off to a surprisingly good start, get ahead by scoring a touchdown on the opening drive. But I think ultimately Pittsburgh's defense and the talent they have on that side of the ball is going to wear down the Orange. I expect it to be back and forth, pretty action-packed first half. Syracuse playing better than we expect on offense. Ricky Collins being better than we expect in the first half. I think Pitt is going to make some adjustments, quiet down the Orange offense in the second half, and pull away to a 34-24 win. That's my prediction for the game. We'll hit our first time out here on Drive Time. When we return, we'll chat with Seth Greenberg about Orange basketball. You're listening to Drive Time on ESPN Radio and QSportsTalk.com.
John Frost.
I would say over 226.5, Alex Martin. You can call him like when we're a minute out of break, Gio. Yeah, I'm excited to chat with Seth. He's a good guy. What's up, Super Cat? Yeah, I think he's expressed, he said that in his Monday press conference in Ego Cuse. He's expressed to his coordinators that, you know, he wants the play calls to be a certain way, and he thinks they get it now. I think he was asked if you're going to change play calling at all. He said no. Yeah, the timing worked out well for Seth. I mean, he was just up here, so figured we should get him on. And I know he can speak to Red a good deal, and he's kept a close eye, of course, on Syracuse just in his job, but also knowing that he's a big fan of Red. I'm sure he's watched them very closely. I don't know. I haven't really seen the palpable buzz. I think if he was going to put it on someone, it'd be Sadiq White. Sure, that'll come up with Seth because he was kind of doing the Rothstein. I saw Orange basketball at practice, and he didn't say palpable buzz, but he said Sadiq White will contribute to winning. Yeah, he's a smart guy. I think I remember that. The NIL stuff. I don't know. Did Rothstein come up here? I feel like that was like usually a given. Maybe I missed it this year. Unfortunately, he put the palpable buzz on Jaquan Carlos last year, so maybe we don't want him to put any palpable buzz in the world. Yeah, he always visits. I don't know. Yes, JC was similar, right? I mean, Western Carolina, Hofstra, small guy. Yeah, he did not level up. Yes, Des Reed, very good. Funny hearing Stephen Thompson when Pittsburgh writer was on with us on Orange Nation that some of the NFL measurements and scouts measured him at 5'5". He's listed at 5'8". I mean, he's small, but doesn't matter. He's got like that Darren Sproles in his game.
QSportsTalk.com.
Riding along with Drive Time as we welcome you back in. Orange football tomorrow inside the Dome, taking on Pittsburgh. Night game for a 7:30 kickoff. A week from tomorrow, we'll see the Orange basketball team on the hardwood for the first time this year. Exhibition game in Buffalo, Sabres Arena, as they take on Buffalo for their first of 2 tune-up games, and then it'll start for real in early November for the Orange basketball team. And to talk a little bit more Cuse basketball, let's go to our guest line right now and bring on Seth Greenberg, the ESPN college basketball analyst who was up on campus recently. And Seth, we appreciate you making some time for us. You got a chance to see this new look Orange roster in person recently. You got a chance to see your guy, Red Autry. What stood out to you when you got an up-close look at the Orange?
Guard play to start with. Experienced guard play, big physical, winning players on the perimeter, probably improved defensively. JJ is JJ. You know what to expect from him. Nathan George is just an experienced, tough, winning player that distributes the ball and can score. Nate King's going to really, really shoot the ball and has good size and good feel and a maturity about him. So I think the perimeter has a tremendous amount of maturity. Those 3 guys will be able to compete against anyone on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, which is, let's face it, they had to get better defensively. Yeah. And I think those 3 guys will be solid on the perimeter in terms of containing the basketball, keeping it in front, your first line of defense. And also, your defense starts with your offense. So if you run good offense, if you take good shots, if you take care of the basketball, then you set your defense. So, if those guys are good, now all of a sudden either your opponent's taking the ball out of the net, or at least you're getting a shot in the rhythm and the flow of the offense, which enables you to then go back and set your defense. And then when you can set it, then you can decide what you're going to give and what you're going to take away. So, I think the perimeter game, is really solid. I mean, I'm sure everyone wants to know about Cayenne, and I think, eventually he's going to be able to contribute, but it's going to be a process. Luke Fennell it's going to be a process for those guys. They got to learn to defend. They got to learn to play hard all the time. They got to learn to be multiple effort guys, but they're surely gifted and talented. And then up front, Sadiq White to me was just he's so interesting to me. He just plays so stinking hard. He changes ends. He's active on the glass. He attacks the basket. He's a willing passer. But they've got a lot of guys. They got a lot of guys that I think are going to be good players. I think Aaron Womack's going to be a good player. I think William Kyle's going to give him a hard-playing rim protector, elite defender. I think Betsy's experience and versatility is going to be interesting. So I was really impressed with him.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Sadiq White. I know that sometimes you don't want to heap too much praise on a freshman because we understand that it's tough for any freshman to come in and contribute right away, but you're not the first person that has been kind of glowing about getting a chance to see him in person and raving about his defensive intensity. And as you said, that's the biggest thing really with Syracuse that they need to improve on is getting a little bit more intense on the defensive end. Just how good of a defender and good of a player do you think Sadiq White can be in year one?
Oh, I think he's a winning player. And that's the thing. Some guys play to play. I think he plays to win. I was going to have to learn how to play, really compete hard all the time, every play. And that's the hardest thing. Not taking plays off, dealing with a little bit of adversity. You go on the road, you have a tough loss. You're going to be the same guy the next time when you take the court. Are you going to have a short-term memory? But his quickness, his competitiveness, his versatility, his relentlessness on the glass, there were just a lot of things, and his willingness to listen. I had a chance to spend a little bit of time with him after practice, and I was just impressed that, his willingness to listen and hear. I enjoyed visiting with the whole team. I thought they were really, really good young people, and I think Red's staff is really locked into this group, which is important. I think that those guys all are with a purpose, but you got to understand at this point, the most important thing these guys got to do is they got to play for each other. They got to play for each other. It can't be, JJ's last time through. It's got to be JJ's last time through getting Syracuse back to the tournament and doing whatever he can. Nathan George came in. He's obviously a terrific play starter, playmaker. He has the ability to score. He's got to take care of the basketball. He's got to defend the ball at the point of attack, and he's got to impact winning. Nate Kings is an elite shooter. I asked him questions. I said, what's the easiest way for you to get an open shot? And, he's a smart guy. He said, well, maybe coming off staggers. No, run the floor, man.
Yeah.
Have you guys get a stops? Run the floor. Get out of the defense. So they've, I like the roster. The Ibrahim kid, I didn't get a chance to see him. He was out that day, so I didn't get a chance to watch him practice. But they've got a lot of good pieces. They've got a good energy about them, and they've just got to be a team of everyday guys. That's the biggest thing, and they've done a really good job this summer. I think Red did a great job this summer challenging them physically, which is important so that they understand really just, what it's going to take. You got to do the hard things consistently. That's just the way it is. You got to have a mindset to do the really hard things consistently if you're going to be a really good team. And the league is really good this year. Not everyone, but most of the teams in the league invested as opposed to last year. And I got to be honest with you, I know people are giving Red a hard time. They were put in a position to fail last year. I just say it the way it is. Isn't it amazing the teams that invested had good seasons last year in the ACC, and the teams that didn't invest and weren't competitive in terms of, NIL or pay for play or revenue share or collectives or whatever you want to call it. Here's the deal: is your investment equals your expectation. Syracuse got the greatest fans in the world, and it's a tremendous environment. And John Lovick's, I love him to death. But unless you give coach, whether it's Adrian Autry or whether it's Earl Grant or whether it's Jeff Capel or whomever it is, unless Kevin Keats. I mean, Kevin Keats went to a Final Four. But, he dealt with a $1.9 to $2.2 million budget. You know what? You're not going to win. You're not going to win. I mean, that's just the way it is. You're going to have to get really lucky to win. You have to really hit on guys. So this year they did a great job. They gave them resources, which is so important. And with those resources, I think they've gotten the right guys. And now they got to get in and play hard and trust each other and believe in each other and deal with a really tough early schedule and do the things that winning teams do. Winning teams have short-term memories. Winning teams have a toughness about them. Winning teams get to the next play. Winning teams, they possess certain traits. And I think the maturity of this team is really good. I think that they've got good leadership. I think getting JJ missed a bunch of practice, but I was in, I guess, his second full practice. Look, he's a difference maker. That backcourt's going to be good. I mean, that backcourt's going to be really good, like really good. And with Sadiq and if Donnie can just, stay out of foul trouble, probably is a good place to start. Become a better screener, because if he's a better screener, he'll be more open. If he runs consistently, if he goes to the glass every single time and becomes a guy that he should be able to get with his athleticism, he should be able to get 3-4 offensive rebounds a game, because he should be really hard to keep off the glass with his quickness. So, I like the roster, and I like everything they're doing. And they look like a great group of young guys.
Yeah, it seems like the pieces fit a lot better with this roster, and you hit on the major point there that they have the resources now. They had Alex Klein at the general manager position in place, and that made a world of a difference, I think, for everyone.
Well, Alex Klein without money is those coaches have to go out and recruit players, and Alex has done a great job in terms of organizationally, but players are coming there to play for the coaching staff. But to get the players they need to get, however they have to, acquire the money in terms of, the rev share or collectives or whatever they're doing. And that's what they got to do. I mean, Alex is good. I mean, I love him to death. But, kids are going to come and play at Syracuse because of Adrian Autry, because of their coaching staff, because of relationships. And in the end, because they're going to be competitive financially with people they recruit against.
Yeah, that matters more than it ever has in this day and age, for sure. And I know you hired Red out of high school, and you obviously think very highly of him as a coach. And that's one thing that I feel like has been underrated. I know everyone wants to talk about how the team didn't perform, and Red's not shied away from last year wasn't obviously up to the Orange standard, which is a phrase he always uses, but he's done a great job recruiting. And can you speak to that a little bit? Like, what makes him such a good recruiter, and what caught your eye when you were looking for a coach and you went to the high school level and picked Adrian Autry back in the day?
Because he's real. He's honest. He's genuine. He doesn't try to be someone he's not. He doesn't tell kids what they want to hear. He tells them the truth. He has a standard and holds guys to that standard. He's compassionate, but he's also passionate, and he has a toughness to him. But on the other hand, he has the ability to connect with people. He works his tail off. Has a really great network of people that want to help him be successful, which is, it's like anything else. I always call it's almost like the Hamilton effect. In the world today, in recruiting, obviously you got to have resources, and then you also have to have people in the room where it happens that, at worst, stay neutral. At worst, stay neutral. And Red's got those relationships, and people like him. I mean, really, what it comes down to, Red's a good guy.
Yeah.
He really is. He did a great job for me, and he did a great job for Jim. And he knows what he's doing. And I like his staff. And I think that, they've got a really good support staff, like you said, from general managers to analytics to, the people that you need. But his staff is very good. They're all on the same page. They're all there's no issues in terms of a lot of times you'll see, staffs, they'll be, I wouldn't say bickering, but, everyone will have, want to mark their territory.
Sure.
There's none of that with them. I mean, they're all in it together. And they all are 100% supportive of each other, which is the way it needs to be and the way it is. I mean, which is great. It's great for them. It's great for, it's great for the players. It's not going to, I recruited that guy. We got to, no. They all say, in the end, if a guy's busting his tail and doing the right things and playing well, they're going to get chances to play. If guys are taking shortcuts and not doing the right things, then they won't get as many, opportunities. But they've got people that are willing to work and are hard playing. Like Nate George, he's nearing the end. JJ's nearing the end. King's nearing the end. Those guys want to go out and do something special, and they understand if they win and they are winning players, that's where everything starts. I mean, if you're winning, and John Calipari's favorite line is, when you win, everyone eats.
Right. And for anyone that's thinking about NBA draft, that's where it starts, right? I mean, I know everyone these days is focused on stats, but getting Syracuse back to the tournament, that would go a long way for sure.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants to play in the tournament. I mean, that's just the way it is, which is the right thing. Everyone should have a incredible urge and desire to get to the tournament. And because once you get in the tournament, I mean, we saw an NC State team that barely, played their way in the ACC tournament into the NCAA tournament to the Final Four. So, once you get in, it's real simple. If you're playing well, you get on a run. It becomes matchups. It becomes, can your team get hot? Can your team, get on a run? Everyone's had a 2-game or 3-game or 4-game win streak, and you have a style of play that's hard to prepare for it in the second day of the tournament. There's a lot of things that go into it. So I'm excited for Red. I'm excited for those kids. I really like them. I mean, they had a hard scrimmage the day before, and they had a hard practice right after it, and I thought it was good.
Yeah, Red has talked about how he's really challenged them throughout the summer. Seth Greenberg with us right now. And final thing for you, Seth, this has been great to get your insight. You mentioned already the ACC looks like it's going to be much better this year. How much better do you think the ACC will be? And where do you think Syracuse fits into the puzzle here? They were preseason 9th in the ACC poll. Do you see them being a little bit better than that? And what is your feeling of the overall conference?
Well, I'm not going to answer that because I think the preseason polls are all BS.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think they mean anything. You got to win games on the court. I mean, it's not plain and simple. I mean, everything's done, how are you going to deal with diversity? How are you going to deal with the stuff on the court? That's what the thing comes down to. So I don't get caught up in that stuff. The league is good. I mean, Virginia spent $14 million. NC State spent $13 million. I mean, you know what that means? Those teams, they got good players, and good coaches. The league is very, very good.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is. I mean, the league is good. It's deep. It's more talented. I mean, NC State improved significantly because what they do. They spent money. Miami improved in terms of their talent base significantly. Why? They spent money. So, I mean, the league's going to be good. And I think the league could get 7 teams in the tournament this year, maybe even more. It'll be interesting. But last year, the league was bad. Now, what does the league have to do? It's got to go in the ACC, SEC, and it's got to go win some games because that league's not going anywhere either. Because they're really good.
Talk about a league that spent money, the SEC. Yeah. They've got plenty of it, yeah.
Yeah, and it goes, again, everything goes back to your investment equals your expectation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be good, then you got to give your coaches the resources to go out and recruit winning players, and then you got to go take those players and you got to put them in position to play to their strengths. And that's the essence of coaching. Once you acquire talent, the essence of coaching is putting your players in position to play to their strengths. And they've got an incredible opportunity to do that this year. They really do.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to have basketball back in Syracuse, and it does feel like they've got the right pieces with this roster. Coach, this has been great. We appreciate your time. I know it's a busy time for you, but thanks for making some time for us, and enjoy the start of basketball season once it gets going.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me. And the one thing I would tell the great fans of Syracuse is, the best fans are part of the solution, not part of the problem. Get behind these kids. I think you have a really good team to get behind, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's about time to get the dome rocking the way it was when I used to bring teams in there, and it was a really, really hard place to play. So.
Yeah, it can be an awesome environment for sure. All right, Coach. Well, be well, and thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right, there goes Coach Greenberg. Well said by him, and he's right. The ACC clearly spent some more money this year, and it does feel like the ACC is going to be better, which is good for Syracuse. And Syracuse clearly spent some more money on their roster this year as well, and it looks like they've got a much better roster. So we appreciate Seth Greenberg of ESPN for joining us for a little bit. We'll hit a timeout. We'll bring in Gio for our Football Friday here on Drive Time.
Did you miss Drive Time?
Known for being aggressive defensively, sending blitzes more than other teams. Pittsburgh right now has the 8th best run defense in college. I don't know if Seth had lunch with JB. I'm not sure they're the best of friends. I picked my most embarrassing song, Super Cat. You didn't like those as much as the normal songs I like?
Tune up your furnace before one of those cold Syracuse winters hits. If you qualify, National Grid will give you a $75 rebate towards the maintenance of your furnace. So call us now at 315-457-6911. That's 457-6911. Charles Heating and Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electrical. In business for 75 years.
LA Orange doesn't like red.
We're the nice guys.
Premature anything isn't good. That was a good Boeheim line. Thanks, guys. He was a good guy to talk to. He just kept going and going. Had some good insight on the team. Yeah, that was surprising. Virginia, $14 million. NC State, $13. I know. There's been a lot of ACC teams that spent big with the new coach, too. Thanks, Kev. I don't think we spent 14 mil, but more than we spent last year, which was reported around 2.5, I believe. I guess I knew that bowling ball. Maybe I just forgot. A lot of you don't seem to like red when I was doing the post-game shows last year, so it runs together a little. You know, he was another person who brought up Aaron Womack. I mean, he brought up like everyone on the roster, but I think we've talked a lot about maybe Tyler Betsy's kind of a sleeper, but it seems like Womack's going to play. And I thought he handled the Kyan, when he started talking about Kyan and Luke Fennell and kind of grouped them together, thought that was interesting. I mean, I'm not expecting too much from Kyan. I feel like the book on him is his defense has gotten better, but he needs to really improve defensively. You got your sources, San Diego Cuse? That would sound about right to me. Probably about 4.5, 5 million of that from rev share. He said William Kyle, but didn't really talk about him much. What's up, Gio?
Hey, it's Paulie, and if you listen to Orange Nation, you already know I get picked on for collecting things and going to garage
From one hokey guest to another, here comes Gio.
Oh, they'll love that.
Yeah.
Got any headsets lying around?
Oh, no. I think, yeah. I don't know if this is... Yeah, sorry. You're probably going to have to bring in yours going forward.
It's not a necessity anyway. I can still hear you just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, 2.5. Didn't we say that all last year that they didn't have enough money? Now you guys are coming to that realization?
Dude, he said some good stuff. What a great guest.
Yeah, he's good. He's the type of guest that just keeps going, and you're like, is he done? Like, do I chime in? I mean, especially when it's not like when it's over the phone, but very good.
But when he's got that kind of credibility, you just let him run. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows Seth Greenberg.
Yeah.
I mean, he was optimistic about the Qs. He thinks they're going to be good, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely he's a fan of Red, of course.
Yeah.
And he's not going to come on here and say negative things about any team.
Right.
If he was on, like, Pittsburgh or whatever radio. But, yeah, I would agree.
ESPN Radio Syracuse.
Welcome back into Drive Time. Tim Leonard with you, and Gio Heater has joined us as he does every Friday afternoon right around 5:30. We went a little long with Seth Greenberg. He was fun to chat with. If you missed that conversation in our last segment, you can watch it back on our YouTube page once it's posted. Catch it on our podcast platform. Every segment of the show is already dropped into our podcast feed each night after the show is dropped. ESPN Syracuse /Utica Rome on the podcast feed. But Gio, we're going to have to go a little quicker than normal, which is
we'll speed it up.
Which is tough for us considering how the first 2 weeks of this have gone. But Football Friday, we pick our 5 favorite football games of the weekend. We'll make some gambling picks. And what do you got this week?
Yeah, let's lead things off with the 3:30 slate on Saturday, right, with the Cuse game being a little bit later. Hopefully fans can enjoy their tailgates and have those TVs on, enjoy consuming some college football while they get ready for the Cuse game. So at 3:30, you got number 5 Ole Miss on the road in Athens to take on number 9 Georgia. Feels like it's a huge opportunity for Trinidad Chambliss, that quarterback at Ole Miss, and of course Lane Kiffin to really make a statement, right? You got Georgia on the road. This feels like it's a Georgia team under Kirby Smart that is a little un-Kirby-esque, right? Their defense has been a little bit porous compared to that stingy defense in years prior. So you think Ole Miss has a shot to go on the road and get it done?
Tough place to win, of course. I guess they have a shot. I would rank, I'm sort of surprised Ole Miss is number 5 in the country right now. I would probably put the SEC teams more like Alabama, Georgia at the top, then another team. Well, maybe Texas A&M as well. The SEC's obviously loaded.
Right.
It always is. But I think Ole Miss is not national championship good. Is that a bold take?
No,
They're number 5 in the country, but
I don't think it's a bold take. I think Alabama's the best team in the Southeastern Conference, but Alabama lost to Florida State. Ole Miss is 6-0. That's why they're ranked number 5. You know who's a wagon, though? A&M. Like, we don't have to get into it, but they're number 4, and I think they deserve to be 4.
It's funny, too. We were talking a lot this week about Penn State's expectations for their next coach, and Texas A&M, I think, was pretty bummed when they got Mike Elko, although he's a good coach, and he's done a very nice job. I mean, I know Duke coach, and it wasn't the flashiest name, but
he's perfect for there.
Yeah,
he's perfect.
They're playing some good football right now. I would say Georgia wins this game. They're 7.5-point favorites. I think they cover, will be my guess.
All right, I'm going to take Ole Miss the upset.
Okay.
To keep it interesting.
You crushed me last week, by the way. Do we have the records?
I got to pull it up. I got to pull it up.
I know it was lopsided, so
it's all right.
You don't have to dig it up. You don't want to.
I'll take Ole Miss. I think it's a statement game for Lane Kiffin. Huge opportunity for them. I'll take them to go on the road and win a big one. You got the 3rd Saturday in October. That means it's Alabama and Tennessee. This year it's in Tuscaloosa. Number 11 Tennessee at number 6 Alabama. 7:30 primetime ABC. If you're going to be tapped into the Cuse game, you're going to miss all of this one. But still a massive game. Alabama and Tennessee have supplied a ton of countless unbelievable ball games, especially in recent time now that Tennessee's, back to the national prominence. Alabama 7.5-point favorites here. What do you think, Tim?
Hasn't Nick Saban gone on the record that this is like their biggest rival Didn't he say that once?
Yeah, I think he has. I mean, it does have. Auburn hasn't been very good, so it almost does have more juice. I think the difference is because Georgia's become a big rival of theirs.
Yeah.
But they play Tennessee every year. They don't play Georgia every year. They've played Georgia in countless conference title games and national championship games now. They've played a couple of those. So it's like big stage, it's Georgia, but you get them on site year after year, it's got to be Tennessee.
It's just amazing how tough the schedule is in the SEC because Alabama, to me, is the national championship favorite in the conference, but there's still a world like they just had to get through Mizzou, Vandy, Georgia. They've won 3 ranked games in a row. They've got Tennessee at home, at South Carolina, LSU at home, Oklahoma at home. Then they play Auburn in that rivalry game on the road to end the year. They could miss the playoff. Like, it could be Kalen DeBoer on the hot seat again by the time the season ends. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Alabama's legit very good. As much as Tennessee did impress me when I saw them up close and personal against Cuse, and I think Joey Aguilar's been fine, I think Alabama's just got a better overall team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Ty Simpson's been surgical. If I were to pick a national champion right here sitting in this seat today, I'd say Alabama, and I'd say that Ty Simpson would be my pick for the Heisman right now. He's been awesome. He's been awesome.
I'd have to say Ohio State, I think, right now.
That's
I know
very
that's
fair.
the lazy take.
No,
but
it's fair.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see when they get battle tested what that's going to look like. Indiana, Ohio State, all undefeated, 12-0 versus 12-0 Big Ten title. That would be insane.
I think we're trending that way.
I think so,
Indiana
too.
might actually run the table. It's crazy.
They very well might.
Yeah.
How about number 20 USC at number 13 Notre Dame? Huge game, massive playoff implications. Essentially an elimination game when you look at the playoffs for both teams. USC really wasn't in the playoff conversation until last week. They beat Michigan, and all of a sudden here they are. They actually have one of the best offenses in the entire country, and it's one of those things where it happens quietly because it's out west and they didn't get the preseason hype, but Jaden Mayava's been quietly one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. You could say the same about Notre Dame's C.J. Carr. This kid looks like a star in the making. They've been very prolific on offense. Both defenses have struggled. Expect points. 60.5 is the over-under total. Notre Dame favored by 9.5, Tim, in South Bend, 7:30 kick. What do you like?
Notre Dame's going to cover, I think. C.J. Carr's really good. I mean, think about it. Steve Angeli was QB3 there, apparently. Yeah. I mean, we saw Steve Angeli. He looked pretty good for Syracuse. So, yeah, C.J. Carr, I think, is maybe not being talked about enough, how impressive he has been, because he's a freshman, right?
He might be a future first overall pick type of player.
Yeah, he's just got the type of, like, modern QB build you look for right now. Athletic dude. This is a really fun game, and one of those games that we probably wouldn't care about before they expanded the playoff to 12 teams. Like, this is the poster for why you do expand the playoff, because USC, you phrased it well. It's pretty much an elimination game. Like, Notre Dame can't lose 3 games and go to 4-3. I think Notre Dame is a playoff team this year. I think C.J. Carr carves up their offense or their USC defense, because I just don't think USC's defense is that good.
See, I'm gonna say Notre Dame wins the game. I think 9.5 is such a big number. I like USC to cover, and here's the reason: Notre Dame's defense has struggled a lot this year as well. And they've given up a ton of points. So I like a shootout. What happens in shootouts? Both teams kind of score and trade blows. So I like them to keep it within that 9.5. You want to talk NFL? We got a couple quick seconds here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll talk NFL briefly. There's some good games. It's a little bit of a sleepy slate, but some of the bigger games.
That, I feel like
it's true though.
Yeah,
but there are some games that stand out for sure. Let's go to Monday Night Football. Probably the biggest game of the week. Buccaneers at Lions might be the 2 best teams in the NFC. Detroit's 5.5 point favorites at home.
Lions let me down last week. I was on them in the primetime game. You were on the Chiefs. Chiefs ran away with it pretty much in the second half. I guess I'll take the Lions again here. I don't love it, but I see them at 5-2 more than I don't see them going to 4-3.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. And I think they do have a very good team. Baker has been very impressive, though. 12 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. He's getting MVP buzz, and honestly, I don't really blame anyone that is thinking Baker MVP right now.
Yeah, Baker's been awesome. He's been one of those players that's so fun to watch, too.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how the narrative has gone from him being young and immature with his behavior to now it's awesome because he's older and look what he's doing, leading the chart. Like, it's just ridiculous.
And if you're winning, it just cures everything.
Right.
Yeah,
that too. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take the Lions in this one. I don't think they drop back to back. They haven't dropped back to back since 2022. And the Buccaneers, though they've been winning by a slim margin and getting it done late with late game heroics.
They're like the Chiefs last year. It's like Baker heroics late in games.
It has to catch up at some point.
I would think,
right?
yeah.
Close game, Lions win it. Wouldn't be shocked if the Bucs were to cover, though, that 5.5 in Detroit. Last game here, Tim, quickly. I know we got to get out. Commanders at Cowboys. Huge game in the NFC East. Dallas, 1.5-point favorites. Expect points. 54.5 is the number, this is not college football. That is a massive number for the National Football League.
It is.
What do you think? Jaden Daniels and company trying to bounce back. They really essentially gave the game away with 3 Monday night turnovers against the Bears and coughed that game up, fumbled it away, quite literally. And then the Cowboys, man, not a great defense, but they can score, and Dak is seriously playing like an MVP caliber quarterback.
I'm going to take the Cowboys at home. They've been a tough team to figure out this year, but Dak is playing very well. Yeah, I'm just going to lean with the home team on this one, I think. That's going to be an interesting game, though.
It is. I'm gonna go against you just for the sake of we're picking games, and it's got to be fun that way, right? Because I do think this is kind of a toss-up. Vegas thinks so, too, with a 1.5-point spread. I'll say Jaden. The kid gets it done, and it comes down to Dallas's defense not being able to hold up. But the Commanders' defense isn't great either. I don't know if they lose back-to-back, but the Cowboys lost last week too, so I guess we're going to find out on Sunday.
Yep. All right, that's Football Friday with Gio. He'll be on our pregame coverage ahead of the game tomorrow night against Pittsburgh. We'll hit our final timeout here on Drive Time. Come back, wrap up the show after this.
Saturday, October 25th. Join
I felt like I was rapping.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of fun when you're like, all right, now we go to the Commanders, the Cowboys.
Right. Well, I couldn't hear the music, but in the back of my head, it was playing.
Yeah, right. That's true without the headset. I always find it weird, talking without the headset. It throws me off. I'm like, am I talking loud enough? I don't know. But you said it completely normal. Time. So, yeah.
Are you into Hamilton? His Hamilton reference was so
yeah, that was kind of... I'm not into it, and I was 95% sure he meant the play.
Yeah.
Because... What was he talking about again? It was how many pieces you have, or chemistry.
Well, no, he was talking about how there's people. So there's a song in Hamilton called "The Room Where It Happens," where they make the big decisions.
Okay.
And there's a guy, the main antagonist is left out of the room where it happens, and they make the decisions without him or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about the people in Red's corner that help him in the room where it happens.
Yeah.
That reference, and I was like, that was dope.
It was kind of interesting how I was going to bring up Alex Klein, and he was like, "Yeah, Alex Klein's good, but it's all about the coach." He kind of shot him down. Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not saying he's the reason why they had the roster, but yeah." He was kind of getting ahead of the narrative of Alex Klein greater than Red, if that forms this year. Yeah. Have you guys seen the Cowboys doc on Netflix? I started that, and it's actually pretty good. A couple people told me it was very good. I was not that optimistic that I'd like it until people told me. Yeah, he did briefly mention William Kyle, but not a ton. I believe your source is San Diego Q's. All right, what's our score prediction for the game? Football game. Yeah, it is really good, Kev. I was surprised. I'm not obviously a Cowboys fan, but that, for me, I wasn't around when that dynasty was happening, so it's kind of cool to watch it not having known everything about it. Oh, you are a Cowboys fan. Okay. That explains why you were on the Cowboys to cover and win. Do you like it, Gavendo? Yeah, sports docs are all over right now. The Red Sox doc was all right. Maybe because I am a fan of the Red Sox, I was a little underwhelmed. But I don't remember if I don't think I disliked it. It just didn't really tell you a ton that I didn't already know. That must have been fun, Kev. Michael Irvin is awesome in the doc. 4 Days in October is good.
Compact yet mighty, the versatile BMW X1 SUV packs a lot of power and personality in a compact body and leads with advanced technology. Verdict BMW has a huge selection of inventory on site with plenty more to come. Lease the 2026 BMW X1 X-Drive 28i at Verdict BMW for only $499 per month.
Tyler in the YouTube chat says 24-27 Syracuse wins. So I'm assuming Syracuse has 27. That threw me off for a second, though. Yeah, I didn't agree with that Fran Fumbles article either. I don't think he really fumbled his answer.
10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile thereafter. Lessee responsible for excess wear and tear. For qualified lessees through BMW Financial Services with a minimum credit score of 700. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025. Verdict BMW.
Yeah, well, I think we've all seen the Big East. That's so good. I should rewatch that. I haven't seen that in a couple years. I haven't watched that Game 7. Is it good, Guendo? I saw it the other day.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com.
Final segment on the show tonight. Final segment this week on Drive Time. If you missed any of the show tonight, you can always watch it back on our YouTube page, Q Sports Talk on the YouTube. Subscribe. Our Seth Greenberg full interview. Really insightful stuff from Seth Greenberg of ESPN, who got a chance to see Red Autry's team up close and in person this past week, and he was raving about the Syracuse roster. Got me excited for basketball season. That'll be starting a week from tomorrow. Football tomorrow inside the Dome. We'll have you covered with pregame coverage here. I'll be out on the quad 5:30 to 7:30 for the Learfield pregame broadcast with Adam Terry. TK Tailgate 4:30. Adam and Gomez on TK99, and then on ESPN Radio here, you'll have pregame options as well with Gio live at Shaughnessy's, Mike McAllister. They'll go out to the quad with Steve. There will be an Orange Central homecoming, Q Sports Talk pregame as well. So they'll have some fun guests there tomorrow on the show, and a really important game for Syracuse. Just excited to see the Orange back in action. Night game, 7:30. And as we've talked about throughout the week, we keep bringing up how much it's going to depend on Ricky Collins. I do think Ricky is going to have a big say in this game. And when I chatted with Ricky for the Learfield pregame broadcast on Tuesday night, he talked about how he wants to be peak funness Ricky Collins. He just needs to have fun. And if he can sort of loosen up, get into the flow of the game, I think Syracuse has a shot in this game. I really do feel like Syracuse is going to get off to a good start. I believe in the culture under Fran Brown. I believe in them coming out of a bye week hungry, ready to go. And I think it is a very good spot for the Orange. I just worry that Pittsburgh does have maybe a better defense than the average Syracuse fan realizes. I think it is the best defense that Syracuse will have faced this season. Pittsburgh currently 14th in the country, and Pro Football Focus's defensive grade, overall defense grade. That's the highest ranked defense, according to PFF, that the Orange have faced this year. Good at getting to the quarterback. They're a blitz-heavy team, and I think they're a tough matchup because they understand Yasin Willis is a good player. Yasin Willis was committed to Pat Narduzzi in Pitt before he flipped to Fran Brown in Syracuse, so I'm sure he wants to have a good game tomorrow. Demetrius Weatherspoon really wants to have a good game tomorrow. He's a Western PA guy. His dad played for Pittsburgh. He's all jacked up for this game, I'm sure, too. He's got it circled in his mind, like I'm sure a lot of the Syracuse roster does after what happened last year. So I think we'll see a much closer game than last year. I think Ricky Collins is going to play better. I just worry that maybe it's a good start. They script the opening plays. They get them into the flow of things. We get a little excited about it. And then from there, my prediction is Pitt pulls away in the second half. 34-24 is my score prediction for tomorrow. Pittsburgh winning by 10. That would be a cover for Syracuse, depending on where you look right now. They're 10.5-point underdogs last I checked. So that'll wrap up the show tonight. Thanks to Gio for producing. Thanks to Seth Greenberg for joining the show. And we will talk to you next week with, I'm sure, a lot of things to discuss after this very important Syracuse-Pittsburgh game. We'll welcome your phone calls after this one next week. Thanks to everyone in the Q Sports Talk chat. And we'll talk to you next time on Drive Time on ESPN Radio and QSportsTalk.com.
Did you miss Drive?